And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LRT Site Clinic with Lily Ray and Kevin Indig. For those of you who don't know what a site clinic is, people gave us their websites to audit them live. And please be aware that this is not a full audit. So whatever we find are the low-hanging fruits. We give you ideas, we give you tips, we give you, things that stick out like a red flag, but don't confuse this with professional advice that someone would spend hours or days on to work for you. But it should certainly give you, an immediate takeaway. And yeah, I think the only thing to explain is that we have a backlog of 40 websites that we draw by random. So maybe your site is here. Maybe you need to show up next week. Lily, you want to tell us something before we get into the first site? Some
Like
words about
anything?
yourself, like anything, like,
What do you
what
want
do
to
you have?
know?
I don't know.
Um, Hi, I'm Lily Ray. I am the SEO director at Path Interactive. We're a digital marketing agency in New York City and Nashville. I run a team of about 15 people on the SEO team and work across a variety of different brands. Been doing SEO about 10 years and love everything about it. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. What about you, Kevin? You're muted, by the way. Ah,
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to be quiet while people
oh,
are talking. No. Good to see you guys. Good to see everyone. I'm Kevin Indig, VP of SEO and Content at a company called G2. We are a B2B software marketplace, and I basically bring buyers to that marketplace. I also run a newsletter slash vlogcast slash YouTube channel called Tech Bounce, where basically unload my thoughts on SEO, meta skills for SEO, growth, those kind of things.
mhm. And an amazing post recently about internal linking.
Thank you,
Guys,
sir.
you really need to check that one out. And
Appreciate
I'm
it.
certainly going to come back to that one in another post of mine. So here we got a whole list of sites to look at, including their pain described as you see here. We start with, that's not a site, but here, haberwip.net. Haberwip.net. Mm, okay, guys.
Pretty empty.
Pretty empty.
Put
My
some
Um,
content
recommendation is
on
add
it.
content. Yeah.
Yeah, step one.
I suggest we go to the next site right away
Yeah,
because this is not the site to,
you're not going to rank for Hello World. It's pretty
yeah,
competitive
exactly.
keyword.
Yeah. So, Mustafa brought in the, okay, you go first. How do you pronounce this site? Tikkan, Tikkan, Kaniklik, I think it's Turkish. Yeah, Turkish to English. Where we go. So, I'm going to switch the auto translation here so at least we understand something. Okay. Turning on congestion with a robot. Any of you guys speak Turkish?
No.
Not even
No.
a single word, unfortunately.
Opening kitchen congestion. Wow. So
It's
now I think we have a really hard time opening the sink. It looks like wait, do we have him here? Mustafa Kaya, are you here? If yes, please post a comment right now so you can fill us in. Otherwise, I would suggest,
unclogging the kitchen, unclogging the sink.
yeah, like a plumber side, a plumber service side, probably
Is
opening
this
kitchen.
targeting Turkey or the
Yeah.
US? Okay,
Oh, that's what I think it would target Turkey. You would have an English option here for the US, right?
right.
And I'm not aware, if this would be Spanish, I would say yes, of course, but Turkish in the US is probably a very small.
Right.
Who are we? Solve the problems of congestion that will occur in different areas, such as expense, sink, toilet. Hmm. Okay. Um. Ah, There's one Alexandra asking who's Alexandra probably knows the owner of that site, and the name she gave us is even different one. So let's stop guessing. We just go to the next one. Thanks. Yep. Okay, defense gears. Ahmed Mehdi Hassan. What's that? Self-defense, a prepper site, I would say, right? Self-defense, reloading, shooting. Wow, it's even guns only about us.
And that fits because I now live in a state, or at least I am in a state where you can legally carry a gun, which is Illinois.
Right. So I guess for the non-US folks, it might seem a little bit odd that we talk about a gun site, but I think this is pretty much the culture between the US and the rest of the world, right? When it comes to gun laws, let's not discuss that. But from a technical standpoint, I think side the defense gears. I can show a backlink profile. Okay, everything above 1,000 means too much risk in the backlink profile. So that's one immediate call to action to look after. What else can we look at, guys?
Can you share the domain real quick? Sorry, I can't see it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
StreamYard's too tiny for me to read the domain.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is, I wonder, defense, Lily, you probably know this
there
better as the only native speaker on the call, but defense gear, is that a generic term? Because it doesn't seem to have a lot of search volume.
I haven't heard of it referred to that way. And gears as well is kind of bizarre because you would think it'd be gear. Like gear is plural.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, because like one thing that stood out to me immediately is that when you Google defense gears, they don't show up.
That's not good
at all.
No, they don't show up at all. I didn't do a site query yet, but you see Alpha Defense Gear is the first result, and I don't think it's them.
Yeah,
that's
you have to put it together. And
they are indexed. I think they have like 180 indexed pages, but yeah.
Yeah, I think already it's a little bit of a question mark, like who is the company here? You know, because when you go to About Us, it kind of just dives right in and starts talking about the website, but it doesn't say much about who Defense Gears is.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it comes to selling like firearms or whatever it is that they're selling or talking about, you're going to have to really put out some evidence that you're a trustworthy brand.
Yeah, and looks like an affiliate site to me.
You know what I don't like is the defensegears@gmail.com. I mean, you should have this email for your brand protection, so nobody does link removal requests in your name. But you know, anything is better than that. Having even an office at defensegears.com. But besides that, About Us doesn't tell about them at all. Right here from how we got here. We are a team that very generic. Yeah. What does the site do? It looks like a blog to me.
It's an affiliate site.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's some affiliate link stuff. Latest price on Amazon. Oh yeah.
I think you can already see by the content that they create. It's like X, best, Y, and then reviews. As somebody who lives in the review space, this smells a lot like affiliate. No offense, right? Like I think you can like affiliate's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But it seems like just a churn of stock photos, same types of articles, right? So I don't even think that the homepage is made for users, to be honest. This seems to be like a pure organic play. You come to this and then you're being attached an affiliate cookie. And I think there's, you know, just from a conceptual strategic perspective, there's a lot of potential to just build like a really cool site for users that maybe even becomes something like a destination or add some brand to it, right? So I think that this model, but by no means trying to offend, you know, the owner of the site. I perfectly know where you're coming from, right? But if you were to ask me how to take this to the next level from a sheer strategic perspective, is to move away from this old school affiliate style where we just churn out the same type of articles, more to something that's a destination, like a almost like a Wirecutter or like a 9to5 Mag or some of these other really cool publications where you come and you find more than just these top Y articles.
Yeah, and I think like it looks like most of the content's written by the same person. So already that to me speaks to like maybe this person, Michael I can't pronounce his last name, but yeah, like maybe we need a little bit more evidence and like information about who this person is and why we should trust him about this content. Like clearly he's an expert. There's a little bit of bio information at the bottom of the article about who he is, but it doesn't really speak to his background in this industry specifically. And then when you go to his biography page, it's really just like a feed of articles that he's written, but it doesn't talk about who he is. So I think if this content's really primarily written by one person, and we don't really know who Defense Gears is, like maybe we need to build up a little bit more information about Michael and like this is his brand and this is the amount of background that are, the background that he has in this content. So
looks a little bit like a fake profile, like a persona, because when you go to the actual mentioned Twitter profile, Pet Neald, you find this Lavash
that's not great.
a protected profile with 3 followers, joined in August 2009. Doesn't look like a guy proficient in defense gears and weapons and any of these topics, right? So
it also seems like the whole space is super affiliate heavy, right? Like when I check some of the keywords and some of the other sites that are competing with defensegears.com, then you have like gunloading.com or safetywinner.com, and all of these sites are not very, very good, to be honest. Like they all follow this old school affiliate type of model. Reloading presso.com is another one. And I think honestly, like if I was owning this site, I think it's a real opportunity to build something cool, be the first person to build something. And honestly, I think what's also missing here are just some like use case pages, like, hey, you just bought a gun, what should you do? Or how to buy a gun. Like is there a guide? Is there like a walkthrough? Is there a content hub that just helps you to find an entry point and then funnels you over to these articles that review certain parts of a gun or certain guns, because those are much more middle of the funnel, right? Or further along the user journey. And so I think there's an opportunity to just build some use case landing pages. Just be like, hey, this is your situation. Here's what to do next.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential around like category pages, because it looks like you just kind of dive right into just feeds of articles again when you go to those individual categories. But like Kevin's saying, maybe there's dedicated landing pages that we could have that talk about each topic and have more content than just lists of articles.
And of course, he suffers from content scrapers, as I just clicked on some of his phrases. I queried these in quotes, and here's his article, and here's a content scraper. And when you click on this best powder scales for reloading .something.pw, you get all redirected suddenly to some nasty pop-up. It doesn't even finish loading here because I got a firewall and I got a pie hole blocking a couple million nasty sites. So, but you don't want your content on sites like that.
He is using FAQ schema. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
But I always tell people you can add links to your FAQs so that you don't risk people just reading your FAQ schema and the search results and not clicking on anything, because his are pretty robust answers. So I would recommend that they go back in there and add some links to other internal pages on the site.
Oh, that's cool. Do you add them as HTML or just as the?
So according to Google's guidelines, it needs to be, your schema should match the page content 100%, but it's been a year and a half since FAQ schema rolled out, and I've had clients add links just to the JSON, and it's been fine. So hope you're not listening, Google, but keep letting us do that because it's awesome.
I'm sure they're listening, and it's gonna end someday.
Well,
you can add jump links, right? Like just basic anchor links, and then you get that link right. Yeah, that's what we do as well with some of our category FAQ schema, and it works really well.
Yeah, I even saw a brand that just said learn more as a link after every answer, but only in the schema, not on the page. But the learn more link always went back to that same page that was ranking. So it was like 10 different organic links to the same URL.
Nice.
Okay. I'm just setting up here a new tool from Write, the structured data helper, which is a really helpful one to just let you look into the schema, the article, blog post, and breadcrumb list. Aha.
Yeah, I have that too.
I just started testing it a couple days. I mean, it was just launched a couple days ago, but it looks really decent. I even found some, inconsistencies on ours. FAQ.
I also noticed with this site, just as a general rule of thumb, I think there's some opportunities to optimize headlines better. So things, even just with the category names, like shooting, it could be a little bit more descriptive than that. And then within the articles themselves, there's some opportunities to like tweak the headlines a little bit so that they're more like basically keyword optimized and specific to what the article is about. For the ones that are listed products, it's fine because they're just using the product names as the headlines. But ones that are more informational about, like I think I was on one about like how to shoot deer, and that the headlines are pretty vague. They don't really specifically talk about deer or anything like that. So there might be some opportunities just to pay attention to the language that you're using in headlines, also the HTML structure as well. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for like featured snippets, like list-oriented feature snippets.
Yeah.
So just making sure that you're using those LI or UL, OL elements for HTML.
Totally. I totally agree with Lily here. When you check the keyword best brass tumblers, which seems to be really important for the site, you see the perfect example because defensegears.com ranks on the second position, and they're being outranked by toprate10.com. And Top Rate 10 just simply uses a list of those 10 brass tumblers and gets the list featured snippet. So that's a perfect opportunity for defensegears.com to add a simple HTML list. I mean, even like there we go. Even like a table of contents at the top might do it, that Google might pick up for that list feature snippet.
And going back to the fact that the site doesn't rank for defense gears, I actually have my search results set to show 100 results, and I'm not seeing anywhere in the top 100 when you type who is defense gears. They're not ranking anywhere, which is concerning to me. For your own brand name, you should really be able to show up in the top 100 at least. So that to me is a big red flag, because talking about like firearms, you really have to be a trusted brand to write about that and to rank for that.
Yeah, I wonder if we do have the Search Console connected, but I don't think so. And no, we don't. And so I wouldn't be surprised with this risk of 2,249 if they had a manual action, or at least a partial manual action, which we don't see here right now. But I would say with a flex triggering for PBN links, which makes sense for affiliate SEO, and a ton of high-risk links that I would disavow in bulk, just to bring it down. I could imagine, when we do a proactive disavow of some of those shady links that I saw, could possibly already lift, the rankings up, or at least bring them back for their own brand. Some of these domains that we see here, Hub Pages, Scoop ID, these are well-known Web 2.0 link spamming sites, that have been around for 10 years. And it's totally okay if you have a couple there, but it looks like they are the top power.
It's not a great sign.
Christoph, can you see how quickly they build links? I have a story that they build a lot of links very quickly.
What we have about them here starts with us in May. We compared to Ahrefs or SEMrush, we don't have a global index of everything, but start tracking a site very, very detailed the moment we set it up. So it doesn't look like they build a lot now in the last, what is this, 3 months? A couple spikes here, won or lost, but these look more like the typical crawler fluctuations. When all sorts of crawlers from different data sources go around the web, they sometimes find a new black spot and then dive into those sites. And then suddenly a couple side-wide links could increase the numbers dramatically. More interesting for us is then the ballpark picture of the risk that we see here. And this looks more like starting in July, the red lines here, a lot more high-risk links were added, and that could be either a negative SEO attack, which I don't see any, at least automated signals here in this link issues here. On the other hand, it could be just the typical scraper spam, and when we look at the anchor text, the breakdown here, okay, we could go to 100% keywords classified, but what we see here is a top anchor text is a dot. And this is so popular that I even have a filter for all the links that are linking with only a dot. That's the current scheme in spam. And this is just 5 domains that I would disavow in bulk right now. But we had other examples in previous site clinics where we had hundreds or thousands with that pattern. So maybe this is something where they just start earning all the scraper spam, and that's something to watch out for in general. So I would recommend, to always watch that pattern specifically. Wallpaper spam is the second one. For instance, in this vertical and for this site in this country, probably not yet. Yeah. So I still don't understand how all these scrapers pick their keywords over time, but they have a certain, let's say, an evolution. And other industries have wallpaper spam big time. Yeah, but I would say an initial cleanup, based on some of these patterns that we have here already, maybe looking at the link profile here.
And also getting reputable links at the same time. Like, it doesn't look like there's a lot of good evidence that this is a real brand. And beyond that, like Google says to use rel sponsored on affiliate links, which I'm not seeing on this site. So basically every page that I've seen so far has affiliate links without rel sponsored, no evidence it's a real brand. There's not a lot of trust that Google is going to be giving this site, especially for these types of keywords.
I agree. And I just want to say, to Michael, I think you honestly have a real opportunity at your hand here. I've been looking at some of your competitors and how they're faring. They're getting penalized one after the other, or like a filter tunes in. Seems that a lot of link spam is relatively common and poor content as well. So man, if that's like one of your affiliate projects, double the effort, build more of a brand. Like as Lily said, like put your face more in the foreground, like add more trust elements, and build this out to a really cool site, man. Like Michael's traffic is still going up. It seems like it's still mostly going well. And all these other sites are just like dropping like flies. So I would, as you all said, like go away from these shady links, invest in some high quality links, build out some cool statistics about guns. I mean, it's the best time for that probably, with all the controversies. Probably get a lot of backlinks. And I'm sure there's a lot of public data about guns, and I don't see any of that here. I think there would be a cool opportunity to just like, I don't know, like create a gun report, whatever, right? And get those organic links from publishers.
Yeah. And finally, when we look at the core web vitals, largest contentful paint of 7 seconds screams to me that there are some technical issues going on. I guess it's just a normal WordPress. Well, or at least
it's got some infinite scroll type stuff happening. We probably have to dig in a little bit more, but that could be causing issues. I will say too, like there's no like citations or external links on the content aside from the affiliate links from what I can see so far. Although there's a lot of informational content. So if you're going to make claims about hunting or how firearms work or things like that, maybe you should be linking to, I don't know who the authority is on this stuff. I guess it's the NRA. Maybe there's someone else. I don't use guns, but show some evidence that you're taking your information from trusted sources, and don't be afraid to link to those sources in your content. It shouldn't just be affiliate links. It should also have real legitimate external links as well.
More of a German thing, the link guides. I think we had that on Twitter recently. The 10 or 20-year-old fear to bleed out some page rank, to lose some juice or whatever. And there have been tests that actually, if you add some links to trustworthy sources, that your rankings go up. I forgot the name of the agency. It was a couple of years ago, but certainly no fear to link out at all.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say we go to the next side because we spent, we were half an hour already here. And we got feedback from Paul, feedback from Marcus Tandler. Hi, Marcus. Nice to see you. And what's this? Always
Hey,
links
Andy.
in FAQ.
Hey, Marcus. Hey, Holly. I don't know how to respond in the public comments, but hi, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, me neither, right? So
how do you get in there?
but we got Craig here as well, and he gave me some tips last time. We're gonna sort this out. Hey, Joe.
Hey, it's Joe.
Lots of great. And your tattoo gets a lot of props.
That's great. First time it's been on a webinar, so thank you all.
Oh yeah, I'm honored. So Cyril Nicolas. That's the next site. I'm gonna post it. Public comments as well. And it's loading. Oh, and it's loading. Okay. Why us? Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Animation.
Quite a load time we've got going on here.
Oh yeah, and the animations.
I'm on like 10 seconds.
CSS animations are cool, I know, but it's driving me nuts that I have to wait a couple. Well, that's.
I'm still waiting. I don't know about you guys.
Same here. Hasn't loaded from yet.
Yeah, same.
So, who's that?
Wow, mine won't load.
Paperclip, social media. Okay, Cyril, if that's you and you put yourself here, then put your name there. Write something like Cyril CEO or something so that I know who you are.
Yep.
What's that? Gmail address. Again, guys, you have a domain, set up an MX, set up an email address. Let me email to something at cyrilnicolas.com. I don't know about you guys. Is this for you? Is this
Mine
not
won't load.
Trust issue?
It hasn't loaded.
Mine won't load. So number
it
one,
didn't load yet.
Make sure your website loads.
Oh yeah, then let me start a lighthouse for desktop and mobile because with these technical flaws, if you don't load your website fast enough. Last week we had a site loading 60 seconds on mobile. Then we don't need to talk any further. Then you need to fix your hosting, fix your CMS. Heck, go to a static website because I don't see any interaction here. I don't see a reason to have something dynamic. And
so I can't load the site, first of all, but beyond that, looking at the URLs themselves in the index, there's a lot of borderline like keyword spamming happening, which it looks like hire SEO expert freelancer is on every single page title tag. So that's probably just like a WordPress or Yoast setting, which is not a supernatural way of describing your brand, even if you are an SEO specialist. So I would look into diversifying that a bit.
Yeah. And when we look at the risk, so we got frequency and high risk. All the spam links that you got for hire an SEO specialist in the Philippines need to go. That's 45 links on that one specific card. And for a website that only has a couple hundred links, you cannot have 20% or 25% of your links, I think was that for the same keyword phrase.
Yeah, it doesn't really rank for anything. I think it ranks number 4 for what was it? SEO specialist Philippines. And that's probably what this site is going for, right? It's like a freelancer who wants to rank for those type of keywords. And I think a lot of people try to rank with their homepage, but it's not always easy. Honestly, like I would set up a specific landing page for SEO specialists in the Philippines and then make that a landing page on my personal page. And the number 1 result for the keyword does that actually. And then I would list all my credentials, my services, background, bio, all that kind of stuff, make it a really long, nice page. test the heck out of that, and I think that's probably my strongest bet. Get a lot of organic links from podcasts, presentations, speakings, writing, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and his name actually does rank. To his credit, you did it, Cyril.
Okay. Okay.
You've got it looks like kind of a Google My Business, almost maybe a knowledge panel. Nah, it's just Google My Business, but still, there's definitely like some EAT happening here. So that's great, especially if you're going to be claiming to be the #1 SEO expert in a country. You should absolutely have a lot of credibility around your individual name, which is happening. So that's cool. But I still can't load the site. So that's a pretty big red flag, especially. Yeah.
And it has a copyright 2017. That's a major turnoff for me. I mean,
yeah.
It starts with little things like that. And, the kicker is I clicked on additional links and couldn't load those. And then I started a Lighthouse report viewer, and it doesn't load either. So I think, Cyril, this is where you start. You get a new website hosting and start with something. Anything is better than a website that doesn't load. This is, I think, what we can say. And with that, after that, we'll probably, and you should see that in Google Search Console. You should see these loading problems. They highlight them as and I think even error pages loading longer than 4 seconds or so. So this is what I would recommend to start. And yeah, I think with this, we give some time to the next one because that's the first thing to do. Alan, writingcontentservices.com. It's an exact match domain.
Writing content services?
Yeah. The question is, who's Googling for writing content services? Are content writers? No, writing content services.
Not secure, so you can start with that. Get an SSL certificate.
Yeah, it's even free on some hosters already with
the footer links are pretty interesting actually. I think I wouldn't do that probably. Those kind of things. That's
wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's like, and also the URL structure is super off. And oh my god, yeah, some of these pages are completely empty actually. They're just
you got writing services in every anchor text and all the navigation, all the footer navigation. And the URL already has the word writing and services and content, so you don't really need to include that on every single link on the entire site.
Okay.
It totally. Oh my god.
And with almost 3,000 detox risk, you can wipe away, a couple hundreds here, based on the most dramatic, 1,500 high risk toxic links, where I would say we can disavow them in bulk on a domain level, and then we would get a notification in a couple minutes probably if we found some links in that whole bulk that could be considered to be undisavowed. You can always undisavow, but before we upload a disavow file, we can even, tune that in the system. And here, regarding the anchor texts, dramatic.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, the site also doesn't rank for anything. And also the landing pages, like editing services, writing services, it's almost like an empty page with 5 bullet points. So it seems almost like a bit of a dead project to me. But if it's not, then completely redo your site. Rethink the structure, rethink the contents, consolidate a ton of pages. Don't use cheap stock photography. Don't have sliders. Don't format your text. Add some layouting. Get a logo.
That's the thing. It's not enough to just buy a domain. Seems to be a common pattern. You need to give Google evidence that you're a real brand. I mean, something like this is not necessarily like a your money, your life category where it's extremely crucial to disclose every person that works at your business or whatever the case may be, but you really do need to provide some evidence beyond your exact match domain name, and just putting that keyword all over your anchor text and all over your inbound links and everything. Like, are you legitimately called writing content services? Is that a real trademark name or copyrighted name for your business? Do you have a place of business that you operate? Do you have a Google My Business location? just some evidence of your brand. Like, are you trying to compete with Writers Access? And because they certainly have all those things.
Yeah, look at that. Here's a WhatsApp number, and that's everything we know about the contact. The setup here in WordPress, to not use the index PHP and to make this is probably some redirect extension or Yoast, where you rewrite the titles to. You can, do this without having -1, -2, -3 on the website, but that looks like cloned posts, and no. And I think, first of all, if we're talking about a website that offers, okay, if you offer unique content, you're already catering to an SEO audience, but they're selling writing, and I haven't seen anything that entices me to buy writer services here.
Yeah.
Or in other words, it's not written in a compelling way. It's
But it's very interesting what you say here, Christoph, because you say, okay, I don't see a good example of their work, right? And I would argue that a lot of people are even turned off just by the layout and the design, right? It just doesn't come across trustworthy. And I truly believe that this meta factor of like trustworthy design and look and feel becomes more and more important in SEO, but it's very hard to quantify.
Yeah, it just doesn't look.
Yeah, nobody buys from that side.
Yeah, nobody buys. I think it goes down. We could look into the CSS. We probably got different font types as well here, font sizes, font weights. Way too much stuff. Again, way too much stuff. Yeah, and with a technical, an LCP of 12 seconds on mobile. Who's waiting 12 seconds for your site? I'm not, and this is why you don't rank to begin with on anything mobile. I would say.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like pushiness in the content. So almost every article on the site is like pushing you to try to buy a service. And it's really, really keyword kind of over optimized, exact match keyword anchors throughout the content, doesn't say who wrote the articles, it's just using stock photography. Like, there needs to be more legitimate evidence that this is a product that is beneficial to people and that people trust your brand.
Yeah. And Matija asked me if, like, how did I hope I pronounced your name correctly. He asked, how did you manage to see the URL structure so fast? Honestly, I just scrolled through the homepage. I saw these horrendous footer links. I clicked on one and saw that in the URL, they use a very broken type of setting. So as Christoph said, it's probably several plugins meshed together or an own script that's supposed to create a lot of pages without a lot of effort. That's what the site looks to me.
Yeah,
so I just found that on the homepage.
Automation. You can see this here when this is the link check extension. It's another a free extension that we have in the Chrome store for checking just the links on the page. And having two exact links saying professional content writing services, it's not what I would do to begin with on a page, but they're both linking to the homepage, which doesn't even make any sense at all, right? Who wants to click on this and be on the homepage again when I'm reading this on the homepage? Nobody needs a link from the homepage to the homepage. And this indicates to me there's an extension. Well, there's tons of extensions for WordPress for internal linking, where you just stuff in your keywords, and we see their keywords here. This is the wish list here. It used to be in meta description, meta tags in the past. Now they're in the footer here. These are all the keywords they want to rank for. And I think that keyword, internal linking keyword plugin, has all these keywords and just stuffs in a link to, well, I don't know, to the homepage from everywhere. Yeah, and that's not good.
Yeah, I think it's like they're trying to just get as much optimized anchor text pointing back to the homepage, which is already an exact match domain, but that's not exactly how it works, especially from the homepage.
Yeah. All right, let's roast the next one. I would say start over on that one. Hey, here's HaberVip again. Media Beyond. Andrew Rostad. Work, impact, contact, home. Media Beyond.
Well, it loads. That's a good sign.
Yeah, at least that. Do you watch videos? Yes. Making video, less work for you.
I like that the testimonials have real faces on them. That's a good sign as well.
You sure these are real faces?
I mean,
Wanna
maybe
do it?
not, but it's a step above stock photography. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So imagine using videos.
Your title tags need optimization. Work just says work. That's the only one I've checked so far, but what kind of work?
Yeah, shortcodes. What?
I think they're located here in Chicago, actually. They're around the corner. So we could see if they rank for Video Agency Chicago.
If you have some internal help pages for your team, for the editors, then I would protect them with an HT password, and then a simple HT access command, or in your hosting, you can say this page / shortcodes is only visible if you type in a password, team or something. But you don't want to have that indexed. Yeah, at least set it to no index.
Yeah, it looks like pretty much none of the pages have had any type of custom SEO metadata implementation at all yet. So the homepage maybe a design and video agency, but the rest of the pages are just the page name, like kind of just WordPress default type stuff. So I would definitely start by just optimizing your core pages for targeted keywords.
Under Armour. We tried it for you.
And the landing pages have to be completely redone, to be honest. I think they're not designed that well. They look a bit outdated. The call to actions are don't use 4-pixel borders ever. And I know it sounds cynic. I don't. The point that I'm trying to make is, like, update as a design agency, update your design. Make sure you're cutting edge. Make sure you're on top of that, right? Like, without even SEO, also the URL impact at 3,500, not very well optimized. I don't see any story here. I just see a lot of cognitive load that makes me want to leave this site. And the site design completely changes. Or no, it doesn't completely change, but it looks very different from the homepage. So there's that disconnect for when you click through, you're like, is this a new site or not? Yeah. Don't use the call to action, learn more in your header, or don't use it ever, actually, because people never just want to learn more.
And I found the about page in the search results. I found the about page, but not by clicking through the site, and it's just blank. So it looks like a legitimate company, so add a little bit of information about your company.
Yeah, I think it's legit. But
yeah,
there's like, why is there no video on the homepage? It's a video agency. There should be a freaking video in the header.
And why is home the last item on the navigation?
Listen,
That's
if you're
confusing to me.
I don't remember who submitted this site, but if you're here in Chicago, I offer to meet with you for coffee for an hour, and we can just go through all of these points step by step.
That's so nice of you.
Andrew Rostad. Yeah, that's really nice.
If you're in New York, I'll do the same thing. Social distance, sit in a park, 6 feet apart.
Right.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Wear a mask.
Yeah, I see some font issues here with all these different fonts. When we look at the links for a moment, Media Beyond is okay, no risk, immediately available. Or no, we did some disavowing already. Maybe we've shown this briefly in the past, but there are only 80 domains linking to this site from 165 pages, so it's not very heavily linked. That's general something that you maybe should work on. No, you can never have too many links. I mean, too many good links. And YouTube Feedburner Search Engine Journal, Marketing Profs. Okay. So here we go. 5 Eyes of SEO review. From when is that article?
Looks like they have 2 locations as well. So that's cool that you list the office locations on the website. And I do see one Google My Business profile for the Chicago location. I don't see one for North Hollywood. So that's a really easy opportunity. Just get, if you have a real office there, just get that Google My Business location, because it allows you to compete in Google Maps, and that's definitely going to show up when people are looking for local, what is it, a design agency? Yeah.
Also, Christoph, I think Fateh on the chat asked where to submit their sites. Can you remind them real quick?
Oh yeah. You know, when you signed up for the site clinic here, we will automatically send you an email to ask if you want to submit your website. So if you just, you know, click through, you will probably receive this email or have it in your inbox already. And I'm sorry. And you know, that has a call to action, a link where you click and then just fill in a couple of questions, you know, the domain, and if we can have connections to your search console and phone number and stuff like that. And then we would set up the profile here for the audit for the next time. If we, you know, do it like that, we can make sure that we have a clean crawl of everything with 100% coverage on the backlinks, fairly fresh data, and sometimes in this case that was submitted in May, a bit of a history in the system already. I think I mentioned we already have a backlog of well, 36 here, and yeah, keep them coming. We're working through as fast as we can, and yeah, going back to this impact, you know, this is the main navigation and the main landing page, video strategy and impact for $3,500. You haven't even told me what you mean by impact. That's a very empty word, you know. Impact is you know, charity organizations try to make an impact, you know, to feed the world, to end climate disasters. What does your video strategy mean for me? And why 3.5K? Who says I don't want to spend 35,000 or even more? You know, you're putting yourself in a cheapster, in a low price segment from me, because for 3,500 you could certainly deliver something, but I would not, you know, push that in the first headline where I don't even know about your service, and most important, about the value that I get out of it. You know?
Yeah, and what types of videos are they, to your point? Like,
right.
It's not until the description of the first product that we see that these are videos that generate awareness. So maybe we need a dedicated landing page for like video, you know, awareness branding videos, or, you know, videos for brand awareness, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, you need to be more descriptive about what types of videos they are, and are they really all $3,500, or
right.
maybe don't disclose the price until you've spoken to your potential client a bit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So the pricing, I would not, as you said, I would not set myself on a price. And granted, this is not an SEO question, right? But like help people understand how the pricing comes together. And one actual SEO recommendation I want to give here is that in a lot of local queries like Video Agency Chicago, you see these aggregator or review sites popping up. And I'm saying that as somebody who does SEO for an aggregator site like G2. But you have these sites like upcity.com, clutch.co, and the agency that we're talking about is not present on any of these sites, right? So when I, as a user, you know, my user journey is not going to just happen on their site themselves. I'm also going to like look at other sites to gauge whether they're trustworthy and deliver good service, whether they have reviews. So make sure you're on these sites, potentially even advertise. Like sometimes that works pretty well, but gain trust on these sites, get reviews, like fill the forms out. And have these advocates for your brand on these other sites to have people sign up.
Yeah, and there's tons of ads here as well. Seems to be competitive. Video age. No, probably just, you know, booking on agency Chicago. Video agency a thing? You say that? Are people looking for a video agency to start with?
Yeah, I would do some keyword research about what types of videos brands are looking for, because there's a lot of just ambiguous language here. There's not really dedicated landing pages for the products that they sell. It looks like the impact URL is the only place where they really talk about the product. So there might be some opportunities to break that out into individual pages, and then use more descriptive language. So like marketing bundle, what kind of videos are included in that? I'm not a video person, but I know that there's specific language that people use to describe each video product and what its use case is.
Yeah, I mean, they could do so much with video themselves. Like, how cool would it be if the owner records a little 1-minute video, says, "Hey, this is our team, this is our business, this is what we do, this is our experience." Like, there's so much to be gained from a 1-minute video, you know.
Oh, and the navigation with a 2-pixel dot to click on. I don't know about that, but I'm an
Do you guys
old
just
guy.
like see pixels? Do you guys just know in your mind how many pixels something is? Both of you are like, oh, that 4-pixel border is just like.
Oh, by the way, to add to that, Kevin, I would not do it with a contrast ratio below, above a certain level. You know,
Oh,
maybe
big
for
time.
some kind of a shade. No, but
there's so much pain in that. And honestly, like one of the biggest reasons is because I'm just facing that crap with my own site the whole time. And I just had to go down the rabbit hole. So yes, I dream in pixels, backlinks, and sometimes entities.
Amazing.
okay. All right, let's look at the next site here. Jordan Glogau with medical billing PHR.
Oh, geez. Medical billing?
PHR.com.
I've worked on this
Posted it
category
in here.
before.
So medical billing, that's a B2B service for doctors? No. What is medical billing?
Hospitals, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Increase your reimbursements.
Should we come back to design here? I cannot read the tagline in the header, and also the slider is, oh my, stop this. Do not use sliders, first of all. Second, do not use cheap stock photos.
God.
Do not use that. Like, come on.
Well, the brand name
that's
shows
bad.
up on Google My Business. That's promising. Preferred health resources. But I don't see the brand name in the homepage title tag. I do see a lot of medical billing company, medical billing, et cetera, et cetera. So we get it. We get what you're trying to rank for. But again, like, put the brand first. Make it clear who your brand is. You already have a Google My Business location. That's not always easy for some companies. So, you know, add a little bit of more information there. Maybe, like, it looks like it hasn't been claimed yet. There's no reviews. So start with that. Start with thinking about who your company actually is and giving proof to the user that you can be trusted.
A last blog post here from 2018. Why an EHR is better than EMR. Electronic health records explained. That's a big feature image, I would say. How many pixels is this? No.
You guys tell me. It is
updated.
quite a big image. It kind of takes up the entire above the fold area on desktops. That's not ideal.
No, it seems like it's resized. You know, it's resized in the HTML. It should be smaller and just embedded wrong in the template or something.
I mean, Dragan just mentioned in the chat that we talk so much about UX and design, but it's a fair point, you know, especially in terms of EAT. This is a medical site or health site, right? So much more important for any YMYL type of sites.
It's because, like, you have to think about that stuff first, honestly, before you think about the nitty-gritty SEO stuff. Like, if we improved page speed on this website, your rankings are probably not going to change, to be honest. If you improved, I don't know, maybe some crawling issues, maybe that'll have a small impact. But again, like to what Kevin just said, if you're in this category and you're talking about medical billing, you're competing with enormous brands that are extremely trusted in that space. And those people are going to probably have knowledge graphs. They're going to have an extremely robust profile with Trustpilot reviews and things like that. So you really need to start by thinking about who you are as a brand before you buy an exact match domain and you put a cheap WordPress template on it and a little bit of content. I am seeing some evidence that the content was at least written or reviewed by a doctor. So that's pretty cool. And so you should focus on that a little bit more. Talk about who your experts are.
Where did you find it? And contact us?
It's on that same blog, why EHR is better than EMR. We have Dr. Robert Murray. So that's pretty cool. Does he have a page?
No.
Build a page, Dr. Robert.
Robert Murray real?
Hopefully.
Author at the Healthcare Guys? Is that him? Bob Murray?
It's a pretty common sounding name, unfortunately. So you really have to
Exactly, yeah.
work on that one.
No photo on this one. Benefits of an EHR system.
No photo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
but
like, get
that's
your spelling right. There, I see like many typos even on the homepage, and you can simply when I mean when you write content, use something like Grammarly, use a Hemingway editor. At least get that straight, because there's nothing. Well, there are actually a couple of things, but this is one of the worst offenders of trust and credibility, is when they're like big time spelling errors, and Google can measure that easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there's things here like in the middle of the page, it'll say search terms, medical billing company, comma, medical billing service, comma, physician billing. Doesn't quite work like that. Your search terms should be incorporated into your content because they're relevant to the content. You can't just list them out as like, I guess, like meta keywords or whatever on the page.
Yeah.
So try to focus more on the quality of the content and not just arbitrarily inserting keywords.
Medical billing benefits. This one's linked. It looks like there's some auto linking. Well, maybe this is manual, but I see a little bit of a hint that this could be automated as well. But it's not enough content to automate. For like 8 pages of content in 3 or 4 years, you can do it yourself in an hour or 2. More concerning is 3,000 detox risk, which means you are probably already suffering from a manual action, or at least some partial penguin penalty on a couple keywords or a couple folders, or maybe a whole section of your site, or maybe the whole site. We don't know. I don't see that here, but I see virus or malware links, which are probably due to your competition. I see target pages of links that have a long load time to review. I see hundreds of links, 161 here, based that trigger a negative SEO pattern. We found that I would disavow right away before we look again and maybe undisavow something. The high risk links here, that these could be a PBN link 618. We can look at that, but it's probably from the historic link building campaign that you had. Maybe an agency built those, then that's fine. When we look at them in detail, we see all these money keywords: preferred health resources, medical billing, Ashford. So those are your keywords that you want to go after. And when we take this filter and just look at the anchor text, I see you were doing it really big on the preferred health resources. It sticks out like a red flag. In all these toxic links, this one keyword is probably what got you into trouble to begin with. And we could, if you're too concerned about, disavowing too much, we could, at least take away the 247 for this specific keyword and then see what's left. And you could always, disavow and upload that disavow file for, let's say, that the worst offenders. If you have the time, if you already dropped in rankings big time, then I would recommend to, well, and this is actually not my recommendation, but also Google's recommendation. Matt Katz said that many years ago: use a machete, not a scalpel, to clean up. And then you can always undisavow. Undisavow works, especially since 2016, where the real-time penguiners, they crawl it, evaluate all these signals at crawl time. Yeah, so this is when we look at, but look at all these red here. It's there's no good link for any of that.
No. And one thing that we haven't spoken about yet is mobile. I think that's also super important.
Yeah.
Their mobile version is broken. The menu doesn't open. So if the user can access the mobile menu, then I think search engines will probably have a hard time as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. They might only be finding pages through the sitemap, and that's not ideal. It doesn't really tell the search engine anything about your website architecture.
Yeah.
And all 3 sites, for what it's worth, or 4 sites that we've spoken about, actually, I don't believe I looked at it for the first one, but for the last 3, I've looked at the visibility index on Systrix, which is just one of many tools that you can use to see the footprint that these sites have in their respective countries that they're targeting. And all of them have nothing, which means that you're not really ranking for any of the keywords that they're tracking in their database. So I think that's why we're focusing so much on like brand and experience, because it's not enough to just do keyword optimizations and to buy an exact match domain which has your target keywords in it, you really have to invest in your brand, which is not as easy. It's not as churn and burn as just like a quick SEO strategy, but that's really what SEO is these days, especially for these types of sites that are doing medical billing.
Yeah.
It's not a quick thing that you can just rank for by throwing up a website. You're going to have to spend a lot of time and resources investing in that brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, starting with 4K ready images. All these images here on my screen look super blurry. I'm not sure if you see this in the live stream because that one is only HD. But if you have a modern monitor, the whole site looks bad just because everything is blurry. The images are not high DPI. And the second thing I wanted to mention here is we got a toll-free number. I'm not sure if that is still a conversion thing in the US for toll-free because you probably have plans for freak dialing anyways. But I look at the email that is listed here. So J Glogau, okay, at PHR400. And when this is what I do. I always look at what is that thing where he has his email. And this is a domain that doesn't load at all. It's not even connected. So maybe, it expired. We could check that real quick. And you don't receive any of those emails. But for me, the next question would be, did this domain at some point redirect, or does it have links going to, it doesn't look like, going to your site? But if that one would redirect or has redirected, you potentially inherited a ton of toxic links just from that you would need to watch out for. And when I look at the domains here, real quick, I don't, let's see, the domain, 500. Here we go. Used to be. It's not connecting anymore. It used to link. So I'm surprised. I would have expected a redirect here. But what's going on with that domain? It's very popular up here on the site, and that is worth looking. Can't connect here either. Okay.
I'm also seeing some like kind of random links to other websites that might be part of the same, I guess, like link network. So perthkairoscenter.com.au. Like it seems like they're almost squeezing links in unnecessarily into the content in an unnatural way. And those websites look pretty similar to this website. So that's already kind of a flag to me that there might be some kind of like SEO play happening here. It's not 100% natural.
Oh yeah, what's the conversion here? This email address? Or is there a lead gen form? What's the purpose of the site? What do I do? Assuming I would trust them after all this. Yeah, no, leave a reply. What do you want the buyer, the visitor, to do here?
Right.
There's some phone numbers and stuff, but there's a contact form on the contact page.
Okay. Oh yeah, for a free consultation call. Right. If you're offering a free consultation call, which is fairly common these days, I would put it up here. At least mention it there already. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, guys. You have time for another site? Shall we do another one?
Let's do it.
Call it.
No, I want another. I want a strong one that has a complicated SEO problem. Maybe a hard one.
Okay, let's look at furnishing gear.
Gear
again.
Yeah.
This is a different name, but I have a déjà vu.
Furnishing gear.
It's the same.
Furnishing.
No way.
Furnishings gear. Furnishings?
Well, that's already not English.
Yeah, furnishings. Hey, this is the same template. You recognize this.
It does have an about page, but there's no real information on the about page. It doesn't say anything about who's running this, the person.
I mean, the homepage even, there's no branding. It's just a stream of articles.
That's another affiliate.
Just dove right in.
I need to get more into affiliate, honestly. This is ridiculous.
Okay. It doesn't look. Maybe quick look at the backlink profile. Whoa, high score. You made a high score, almost 5,000. You can work on, reducing the risk in your backlink profile to start with, because that one is going to get you in trouble. At least for a couple anchor texts. Best living room chairs for back pain, ultimate guide. You don't want to have 64% of your backlink risk from that one. I would, just go by that. When we look at, by count. Yeah, dramatic. Here you see the dots. We got dot being the second most popular anchor text. So here we could go with that pattern again and disavow. In this case, 107 domains, just in bulk. You will not regret it.
Yeah, I would bet $20 that they got penalized for backlinks. They don't rank. Like their rankings indicate that they were pushed into a filter. And when I look at the backlink profile, it looks painful.
Source pages, links, target pages. What I sometimes do then when I see a site that risky is that I look at the active links that are there that are not yet disavowed and try to see if there's any good. Image up, chart attack, don'twasteyourmoney.com, self-growth, residence style, decoration love.
They rank #1 for furniture for back pain sufferers, apparently. That's pretty impressive. That's actually a really good sign. So, maybe don't burn the whole thing down. I really don't like the domain name. I'm sorry. It doesn't really read as like proper English to me, Furnishing's gear, but we'll get past that. They do rank #1 for furniture for back pain sufferers. They rank #3 for best living room for, sciatica. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's some type of medical condition, but that's actually a really good sign. So, maybe this is a site that has some potential. I would say, like we talked about in the beginning, start by the homepage not just being a feed of articles that you've written, but talk about who you are. You have a logo. That's a first step.
Right.
And this article is ranking #1, which is pretty great. I would not really expect it to, but either way, you can probably add a little bit more. It's basically just text and affiliate links right now. There's a video, which is nice, but can you add a little bit? If you look at some of the big affiliate sites that are out there, you'll see like a lot of evidence about why they're the trusted publisher to be able to speak about these things. We've conducted this many reviews and we've been in business this long reviewing these types of products. I don't really see that on this website at all, or who wrote the article for that matter. So again, a little bit more focus on who the brand is and who works there, why they're trusted experts.
Totally. And also, I mean, first of all, I would once again recommend to create guides for use cases or narrow the freaking site down, right? Like nowadays, just writing about a specific topic is not enough. You want to target an audience, and maybe this audience could be suffering from sciatica, from like back pain, right? So make it about that, and I think you have much better chances to rank. And so, I also see that when I look at a piece of content like how to choose a recliner, they have like a relatively short piece of content. There's no images. And instead, when I look at like on Google who ranks for that, it's furniture.com, and they have a full recliner buying guide. And the thing that they do pretty well is they show a lot more images than text. In fact, I would say that the result ranking #1 has almost like less text than what furnishingsgear.com has, but they tell people, they convey the message with images. They show people what a recliner looks like, different types of recliners. That's the idea of user intent, right? It's not to just have a lot of text that says something. It's to help people genuinely. And if that's with graphics or with videos or something else, then that can work nowadays. And you can rank #1.
Totally.
I just Googled furniture for back pain, and at least here in Austria, I get to Club Furniture, and it looks like an example a little bit against what you just said. Look at all these product links here. Interesting that we have a similar color scheme.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks a lot like our site looks a lot like the #1 site.
So,
and that's by design.
Yeah, pros and cons for tons of products, but at least they have their own cart. They have their own inventory here.
They rank #1 for their brand name. That's good.
Mhm. Yeah, but in the backlink profile, I think there's some stuff to keep and tons of stuff. All the TKs here, for example, typical spam TLD. In the TLD when we just do a quick breakdown. Yeah, TK. You guys know what a .tk is? Which country?
No.
Me neither. I haven't not even looked it up because I've never seen a single proper link from a .tk. They go away for free. They're used in the where scene, the cracks, porn, casino, pills, for all sorts of feeder sites and of course spam sites and scraper sites. I mean, it's a free domain. Because of that, you can just get rid of them and assume these are the ones hurting you. And this is where best living room chairs for back pain ultimate guy comes from, where this overdone anchor text comes from. So probably the other anchor texts with better variations are helping them, but this one I would certainly get rid of. I could imagine, and when we do a link audit, we can also apply different rules. We call it link detox tune, where if you are familiar with your industry, if you've looked at a couple websites in that industry, if you use the competitive detox, you have a feeling, you have knowledge about which links are there and helping. If you do active SEO, and then you can tune down or tune up some of all these signals that we generate and essentially fine tune the algorithm to yourself so that some links that you may want to keep do not highlight red flags. And the same is true here with the retraining. I would say it looks like a very affiliate heavy site or topic in general, just judging on the scraper spam, similar to the defense. What was the defense gears?
Defense
The
gears, yeah.
the S was at the end there. Defense. It's still weird coincidence. Yeah, but yeah.
And
Let's do another one.
there's a lot of work, just real quick, like the fact that it's ranking for some pretty good, decent keywords in top positions is a promising sign. I would go through the content and really make sure that it's written for users and not search engines, and also that it's not written like kind of hastily and casually, because there's things like the word wanna, W-A-N-N-A. So you want to purchase this chair, like you would speak that way, but I wouldn't write that way in an article.
Right.
So just going over it once with a Hemingway or ideally a real editor, that could help your performance as well.
Totally. Like also one thing that I think it's more like a UX type of thing, but if your homepage is a feed of articles, don't have a navigation point called blog where you do the same thing. Like that doesn't make sense. So either make the homepage an entry point to other topic pages, category pages, select number of articles, and then use that blog type of structure, or just don't use a blog and think of something different. But yeah, it's just a bunch of feeds. And also there's so much more potential for internal linking. The only link module that you have on actual articles are top posts, but they're not even related posts. So, semantically, it's I think there's an opportunity to just cluster or bring some articles closer together with internal linking. But then again, there are no good hub pages to even apart from a search engine perspective to just help users navigate the site, right? Because what if I'm interested in like a back support office chair, but maybe there's also some accessory or something similar that I want to buy, then you're, as an affiliate project, you're missing on that revenue.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some top posts. Best seat cushion for lower back pain. That's the one. Wow. There's a lot of best seat cushions for lower back pain, but I don't see that site, and that's probably. It's interesting how we see Amazon here not ranking on top for such a product heavy.
Yeah, because all these sites have Amazon affiliate links.
Right.
It even says it in the footer. He's straight up. This is an Amazon affiliate website.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Okay.
And we've got some comments. That's cool. I think there's some promising things on this website. I'm not going to say burn it down.
Yeah.
Just, maybe start with just talking about who you are as a company, having a better company page. Maybe you can get a Google My Business profile, add some authorship to your articles.
Yeah.
And a homepage. Homepage would be nice.
Yeah.
And burn it down is in this case, for the affiliate space, I would say at least, keep some of the good links then to redirect. You can always, start over from scratch on a completely new domain. And when that one is all nice and shiny, use the link equity that you have on this one to for a certain category. Redirect into the new site. Don't redirect to the home pages. Redirect to the homepage is always a soft 404, whatever Google says. So you might get some benefit out of it, but you should not redirect any of that and to the homepage. And best case, I don't see the categories here behind, but if there are categories, I would redirect them by category. Let's say have all these office related articles redirect to a category for office furniture for back pain or stuff like that. Yeah, but let's try make that one work better. And finally, the thing links to unavailable products. So you made the number one ranking, you convinced someone to click through from your post, and then he can't convert. That sucks.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
Leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
And that means the review, there's probably a theme or a plugin that stuffs together articles. I would get a new plugin. I think this is WordPress, and there is a bunch of review plugins, and at least make them do an inventory check. Yeah, look at that. Currently unavailable. What the hell? Any cent that you spend on promoting this? What, one option? No, two options. Yeah, and with the currently work from home thing, all of these lower priced chairs probably sold out for a reason, and you probably can get others. But update the site to so it makes sense that you rank. Makes sense for the user, for the buyer, and for yourself, right? Otherwise, why bother? Natural body curves? What's that? Mayfield Clinic. Oh. Oh, this is co-citation. A trustworthy website linked. Remember in the first site or second
it's
site
good.
we said you should link out. So
I'm all about
that is
that.
actually a good resource on the. What did I click on? Yeah, with these things, health, you can have your resources at the bottom as well. That's a wrap. Gaming chair at a reasonable price. Yes, I want a gaming chair at a reasonable price. Okay, here's another affiliate plugin. And I can't buy it again. Sucks.
Yeah.
It's probably just some coronavirus thing. There's a lot of stuff out of stock on Amazon.
Yeah. But
that's probably where I would start. Yeah, it's probably where I would start, is making sure your links actually go to live products.
Yeah.
Because if anything else, that's something that can increase your revenue that day.
Yeah, totally. I mean, especially right now, as people work from home and realize they'll work from home for a while, they'll buy office chairs. He's missing out on a ton of revenue. Yeah. And I also recommend, like, one thing that I always love to do is just learn from the best. So, like, go to the Wirecutter, look how they tackle an article for the best office chair. What you'll often see is that they don't go super wide. They don't offer you 50 options. They offer you the best 3 options, or like the 8 best options. And the importance here is that, first of all, it looks nice, but it's also it's an expert opinion. They have bylines. They have people who wrote this. They clearly indicate what date this was published on. I hate it when pages and sites don't show the date. It does not make sense. It will not help you to disguise when content is outdated. It's actually it's a missed chance to write new content every year for a similar topic, after my mind, especially in the affiliate space, because you want the most up-to-date comparison. So just simply like Google the keywords, see who ranks well, and dissect why they rank so well. And if not, then look at the best affiliate projects in the space, of which Wirecutter is certainly one, and look at what they're doing well with their content. How do they present it?
It's great advice.
I just wanted to mention that I'm running Pi-hole here, which is an appliance to filter ads. So it's totally possible that something that we have not talked about is also happening on your sites. These look really blank, but I could imagine that there's tons of AdSense around it. Just judging from the errors that I have here in my console, these come from my blocker blocking ads. And if this is even worse, splattered with ads on top or the bottom or all the right hand side, and this could be just another UX issue that people would not even know where to click. And if that is the case, and this has not been the subject, then it's also worth looking into. Feel free to look at the sites again without an ad blocker, but we saw that even with an ad blocker, this one site didn't even load completely. Right? So they always slow you down. Yeah, and Frank Watson, the Aussie webmaster, is here and looped us in on the TK. The TK
okay.
is a New Zealandish extension.
Would
Okay.
never guess that.
No.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Frank. All right. Shall we call it a day for today? It's been almost 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Someone said earlier we deserve a beer. I shortly highlighted it, but
It's too early for beer. Maybe for you, Christoph.
Maybe
but...
for me. Well, I'd rather go to my, back pain massage chair here in the back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still on coffee over here.
Yeah,
neck
me
and
too.
toe massage. All right. Well then, Lily, thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Kevin, for being here, and thank you all of you watching this. I saw really some popular names here, like Aleda Solis here, who you'll see in 2 weeks with Alex Stachalova and Rick Lomas together. So that's September 10. Next week we have Stefan Spencer here, and we got a couple other cool guys coming up in the next weeks and month. This is the LRT Site Clinic every Thursday at 3 p.m. London, 10 a.m. New York, and well, I'm sorry, 7 a.m. West Coast, but should work.
Can't win them all.
Right. And then come the Aussies that say from Australia, this is too late or too early. Yeah, we had that one too, but you can't please them all. Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, this was super cool. Thank you all. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Christoph, for having me. Lily, it's always a pleasure with you.
Likewise.
We have to do
Thanks
this
for
again.
having me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.